Hi, I'm Chris Nedza, lead entrepreneur in residence of the Advanced Technology Development Center at Georgia Tech. We're the state of Georgia's technology incubator. Welcome to season 1 of the ATDC podcast, Executive Bites. We focus on the startup founders in our portfolio, what sparked them to launch their companies, the market problem they solved, and even how they overcame the thoughts of quitting when times get rough. Enjoy. So welcome to this episode of Executive Bites. Thrilled to have a really smart guy in an amazing company, and Deepak Rao with Mila Health. Welcome to the show. I can't wait to dig into what's going on. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Looking forward to it. This is exciting.
So I'm going to dig right into it. So Mila Health, basically you're tackling kind of process automation, AI process automation in the healthcare space, right?
Yes, that's right. The fundamental problem we're tackling is the shortage in staff.
So, so how are you tackling that
Y-
problem?
Yeah,
Because I do know that like the hospitals are overstaffed. I mean, emergency rooms, hospitals, they have way too few people for way too many patients.
correct. So the mystery in healthcare is not what needs to be done. Everybody knows that preventive care is good, chronic care is good. So what needs to be done is well understood, and that it makes a huge difference if you could do it. The challenge is, as you mentioned, there aren't enough people. That's it. So many things fall through the cracks or are left to best effort. And that's the problem we are trying to address, is that we think using AI, you can make a huge difference in taking away the burden from the staff on, sometimes up to 80% of the routine things that they have to do, or repetitive things they have to do. And that's where Mila excels.
All right, so give me an example. I think I know what it is because I had my mom was in the hospital for quite a bit, a couple of weeks, and oh my gosh, even trying to get her out in the ambulance there between shift changes, it was honestly a nightmare.
Yeah. Y- Yeah. So to give you a very, very simple example that everybody can relate to is, there is enough published literature out there that says that the number one intervention that makes a difference to overall health is if people come in for an annual wellness visit once a year. And this is such a sort of drop dead simple thing to do, but it's not happening. And the reason it's not happening is because you or I, as patients, don't really consciously think about it. We wait for somebody to reach out to us, our primary care physician's office or our health insurance plan patient advocate, to reach out to us and say, "Hey, Chris," or "Hey, Deepak, you are overdue for your visit. Isn't it a good thing for you to come?" But that is, again, as I mentioned, just not happening because there aren't enough nurses in my doctor's office or care coordinators. They're dealing with much higher level challenges.
So,
And
so you're talking about the schedule, the reaching out, the automation of reaching out to the patient to say, "Hey, it's time," and
yeah,
schedule the appointment. I mean, that can be totally automated with AI. Like, I
correct.
agree, and that's an example that
That's
you're
an example.
tackling.
Another similar example is, you're scheduled for, say, a procedure of some sort, a colonoscopy or a knee surgery or anything. There's a whole bunch of things that you need to do before you come in for that procedure, so that when you show up, the procedure can not only take place, but it's the most effective. And a lot of patients come underprepared or not adequately prepared. And that, to solve that, again, a nurse has to call you multiple
Right.
times, several days, walk you through, make sure you're doing all the right things, instead of relying on a piece of paper that you received during the last visit that gives you all the instruction. That's again an example of something that the nurse frankly doesn't enjoy doing because it's highly repetitive. It's the same set of instructions, and it's a perfect use case for AI.
So are you using voice agents, text, chat?
Yeah.
What are you using?
Yeah. So one of our powerful differentiators is we can do both voice and text, and not just as in separate or independent channels, but intersperse them. So you can start a conversation on voice, convert it to text, and then as you're texting, ask the agent to call you back, and the agent will then call you back and pick up the conversation from where you left off during the text stream. And so interspersing voice and text, both inbound as well as outbound.
So I would think that one advantage to working with Mila is HIPAA compliance and patient records. And
Yeah.
have you guys tackled that?
Absolutely. So both act from an infrastructure perspective, meaning we run on Azure, which is fully HIPAA compliant, and so on. We absolutely sign BAAs with all the parties that we work with, and in healthcare, in when engaging with patients, when dealing with sensitive information about the patient, those are sort of table stakes. You can't even get started without proving that you have all that in place.
How do you there's a lot out there about how people are using AI to scam,
Yeah,
particularly seniors.
yeah,
Um, how do you make sure the validation, or how
correct.
does the patient know it's legit? You're actually the doctor's office.
Yeah, that is a fantastic question. That is something that
Yeah.
we learned very, very early on, and have sort of done our best to address it. So I'll make a few comments there. First thing is the number that you call from or send the text from is very critical. It needs to be a recognizable number, because if it's an unknown number, most people will not even answer it.
Right.
So we make sure that the number that we use to reach out is it's the doctor's office number, or something that will be recognized. Secondly, we educate the patient, or we tell the doctor's office to educate the patient to say, hey, expect a call from this. In fact,
Right.
in some places, we've even gone as far as sent them while they're in the office, sent them a trial text message so that they store it in their phone. They know it's a legit. And the final thing is, the more context you add to that initial call or message, makes a huge difference. If it's just something that is very nondescript,
Yep.
then people will ignore it. But if you can say, hey, we're following up after your visit to Dr. So and so from such and such date, and remember you talked to, nurse so and so, and anything that we can inject to add more context to the conversation improves trust dramatically.
I noticed the one thing you didn't say about a benefit, and all of those are incredible because I'm like, why does a person have to do that? And I have to call back and the line's busy, or I forget to call back. It's after 5 o'clock and I get the voicemail. It says call back
Yeah,
tomorrow. The one thing you didn't mention is the expense of having a human doing that is
yeah.
ridiculous. And nobody likes to do it. And it's expensive. And your AI agent or your agentics, it's like a fraction. I mean, it's like almost nothing, you know?
Yeah,
So
very true, very true. Call centers, staffed with highly skilled people like nurses or pharmacists and so on, have about anywhere between a 25 and 35% turnover, annual turnover.
oh, yeah, yeah, easy.
So it's not only the expense of them, of making these calls. It's training them. It's keeping them motivated and so on, which further adds to it. And then the restricted hours that they have, as well as there's very few people that are bilingual or multilingual.
Right.
Mila can speak 30 languages. So I would challenge you to find a nurse who is available 7 by 24 and can speak 30 languages and is never upset or never has a bad day.
Hey, let me ask you this. I'm really fascinated about that because, when you call up, a lot of times they say for English, press one.
Yeah.
You only get two options. It's usually, you know,
Mm,
uh, 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 if you're Latino
mm.
or if you're, speak English. Does your agent understand if I'm Vietnamese and I call up and I speak in Vietnamese? Does it automatically know it's Vietnamese?
Absolutely. So that is
Cool.
one of the beauties of this technology today is that it will switch midstream. So if it detects you're talking a different language, it will switch to that language if it's in that list of 30.
Oh my gosh, what a
Y-
what a valuable thing for people to have. That is awesome. Hey, let me switch gears a little bit, Deepak. What in the world drove you to start Mila Health?
Yeah. So yeah, that's an excellent question. So this is I've been exposed to healthcare and the challenges within healthcare for a long time, not just being a patient, but having a previous startup in the ambulatory care space. And my wife's a physician, so I've heard about the challenges within healthcare for 30 years. And
Right,
it's always fascinated me that while everybody likes to complain about healthcare and there's no shortage of problems and but there are very few people who are willing to jump in and actually try to tackle these because these are not simple problems. Though on the surface, it might feel straightforward. The challenges within the healthcare of the regulatory compliance, as well as at the end of the day, you're dealing with patients and humans, and
yeah,
who are not always at their best when you are trying to engage with them. That is a hard problem, and fundamentally, being somebody who likes to tackle these kinds of hard problems, I welcomed it. And initially, though it was daunting, I once you get into it, it motivates me every single day, that
right.
hey, we can make a difference.
Yeah, no, as you're talking, I'm thinking about, you're right. People are calling the doctor's office. Usually they're not feeling good or they're following up, and it's very frustrating. Um, but how do you feel, or what's the feedback on them talking to an AI robot?
Yeah,
Like it's not even a person.
correct.
Although I'll have to admit, um, a well done voice agent
Yeah,
never gets angry, always has a good attitude,
exactly.
never gets tired, comes to the
Yeah,
office, never is late, and is always accommodating.
correct.
Do you get pushback from that?
Yes.
That robot feeling, and is there an off ramp?
Yeah, it's good. Two good questions. So, firstly, we are having a tens of thousands of patient conversations a day right now. So we have real life data on this. If, by law, we are required to, at least in the state of California and soon to follow in other states, that you have to introduce yourself or you have to let the patient know that you are a virtual agent or an
Yep.
AI powered agent. So there is no hiding it or getting around that. So we do absolutely introduce ourselves. Surprisingly, less than 3% or approximately 3% of the time, patients say either at the start of the conversation or halfway through that I don't want to speak to an AI. And we always have a human in the loop option. So you can always say, always the patient says, I don't want to speak to an AI. And if it is during office hours, we transfer it to a live agent. But the interviews that we have done with patients also have shown that they prefer this experience because of all some of the other things that you mentioned. They're never on hold. It doesn't matter what time of day or night they call, they get somebody. As long as it gets the job done. And most of the time, it's something fairly straightforward. I want to change my appointment. I want to set up a new appointment. I have a question about this. Should I be taking this 2 times a day or 3 times a day? And you don't want to just leave voicemail and wait 2 days to get an answer back for that. If you can have that answered for you right away, most people don't have any issues with that.
Yeah, no, I think it's very elegant what you guys have built. I love it. I'm gonna switch gears with you a little bit. Um, what as a what has been your biggest challenge
Yeah.
as a as an entrepreneur? You
Yeah.
know,
I would say right now, I mean, what is top of mind for us is hiring. Absolutely, that is our number one challenge. Is
really,
yes, which is surprising. You would feel that, or you would think that there is a lot of people available and so on, but when we are being a startup, we are still fairly young. You want to make sure that you have the right team around you. And
yeah,
so it's not just about people who have the skills, but people who are, who have a like mindset and who are equally motivated. So I would say hiring is definitely a challenge. The
and
other challenge eternally for any entrepreneur is revenue or new customers. And though we are making very good progress and our revenues are ramping up rapidly, we are impatient. We want more, and we want more faster.
that's interesting. Everybody says that, right? Everybody. I don't know anybody that says I have too many sales.
Yeah.
But I do know people that can get too many sales because the platform's not ready. The one thing I know about you guys is you can handle the capacity. It's well architected.
Yeah.
Um, but the employment piece, the hiring, you're going to get hit up. All
Uh,
right, what are you
Bring it
looking for?
on.
What are you looking for? I mean, that's one reason you're at ATDC is because we're
Yeah.
down at Georgia Tech and we're right at Tech Square, and we have tons of students that are looking for to be connected with employers. What kind of things are you looking for?
Yeah. So we definitely need AI and ML engineers. That is one thing. And ideally, with some level of experience, we know that these are newly emerging fields, so we don't expect people with 10 years experience or anything like that. But familiarity with uh, AI and ML tool sets and technologies, so that's one big area.
Right?
The other area is actually sales and business development. We are
Everybody needs
looking
those
for,
guys, right?
yes, we're
Yeah,
looking for people there. And again, finding the right match is difficult. People who, because we're selling to enterprises, so we need people with enterprise sales experience, but at the same time, we are a startup, so we have to have people who are self-driven and self-starters who don't have the infrastructure that other large enterprise software companies offer. So just give you a very simple example. If you come in as a salesperson at Mila, you have to build your own leads, or you have to develop your own leads. You don't have a marketing company that's dropping a stack of leads on your lap every morning and saying, go follow up or chase these.
yeah,
You have to do that.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
finding that combination of self-starter but enterprise sales minded or experienced is a huge challenge.
Yeah. I would say that that's a good challenge for enterprise people too. Sales are really tough. I mean, you can hire a salesperson, and oftentimes you don't know whether they can actually sell for months, and that could be very like that's hard. All right, I'm going to switch gears one more time. Um, so, Deepak, have you ever wanted to quit? And and
Yeah.
since you haven't, what do you do to keep energized and keep going? Because that's the one bad thing about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's awesome, it's glorious, but you really can't quit,
Yeah.
especially if you're taking money. So,
Yeah.
have you
So
ever felt like quitting?
yes. So absolutely you feel that. And I always remind myself, okay, if I did quit, what else would I do? And whenever I ask myself that, after a moment of reflection, I have the best job in the world.
Yeah.
There is no doubt. I still get up at 4 a.m. and I get to work on many days. I still am working at midnight many days, not because anybody is requiring me to. It's because that the drive comes from within, and because I'm working with a group of great people, and it's fun, and we're just making progress. So as long as you have the sense of accomplishment that you're making progress, that's what keeps me motivated. And every time I have a down day or a down moment, or customer says no, or an investor says no, you remind yourself, what else would you be rather doing? And there's
Yeah,
nothing else that I would rather be doing.
I love that. Well, Deepak, I really enjoy speaking with you. I love your product. I love what Mila Health is doing. It is desperately needed. I am sure that there are plenty of office staff, patients,
Yeah,
doctors that are grateful for your product
yeah,
because it really does take the burden. Like doctors and nurses should be treating patients
yeah,
and get rid of the administrative burdens and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Deepak, thank you for being my guest today.
Oh,
And we are absolutely pulling for you all the way.
thank you, Chris. I'm completely enjoying being part of ATDC, and we're getting a lot of value out of it. So it's not just exposure, but actually meeting with all the other people and folks like you, etc., and our sort of coach within our advisor. So that I wish I knew about this when I did my last startup.
Right.
Our journey would have been a lot smoother. But thank you. I
Yeah,
love the ATDC participation.
absolutely.